All right, buckle up because this story has more twists and turns than a roller coaster. We're talking about the tragic case of Gabby Petito, a young woman whose murder captivated the entire nation. Let's set the scene. It's the summer of 2021, and 22-year-old Gabby Petito is living the dream.
She's traveling across the country in a van with her fiancé, Brian Laundrie. They're this adventurous couple, documenting their journey on Instagram and YouTube. Think beautiful landscapes, cozy campfires, and those cute couple moments that make you go, "Aw." But behind those picture-perfect posts, something was seriously off. In late August, Gabby's social media goes silent. Her family gets this sinking feeling because Gabby was always in touch. Then, out of nowhere, Brian shows up back home in Florida on September 1st. Alone. No Gabby, no explanation. Gabby's family starts freaking out. They report her missing on September 11th, and the internet catches fire with the hashtag #FindGabby. Suddenly, everyone's invested in this story. True crime buffs, internet detectives, even people who've never followed a missing persons case before. They're all glued to their screens, trying to help find Gabby. Now, here's where things get really shady. Brian's home, but he's not talking, like at all. He lawyers up and refuses to speak to the police. Seriously, dude? Your fiancé is missing and you've got nothing to say? That's a major red flag if I've ever seen one. As the days go by, the police start digging into Gabby and Brian's trip. They find body cam footage from the Moab, Utah police. In the video, Gabby's crying and Brian's got scratches on his face. The cops separate them for the night, but no charges are filed. It's clear something was going on between them, but no one knows just how bad it was. Then, on September 19th, the worst news hits. They find Gabby's body in Wyoming's Bridger-Teton National Forest. The coroner rules it a homicide, and the nation's heart breaks. Gabby was so full of life, and now she's gone. Everyone's demanding answers, and the pressure's on to find Brian. But here's the kicker. Brian's vanished. His family tells the cops he went for a hike in the Carlton Reserve and never came back. Cue the massive manhunt. We're talking FBI, local police, search teams, even Dog the Bounty Hunter joins in. Yeah, it's that intense. Weeks go by with no sign of Brian. People are following every lead, every rumor, hoping for a breakthrough. The media's going wild, and the public's desperate for justice. Then, on October 20th, they find human remains in the Carlton Reserve, along with some of Brian's belongings. Dental records confirm it's him. It's a grim ending, but it leaves everyone with more questions than answers. What really happened between Gabby and Brian? Why did things go so wrong? The tragic story of Gabby Petito is a stark reminder of the dark side of social media, and how sometimes the most picture-perfect life can hide the deepest secrets. Let's rewind a bit and dig into some more details. Gabby and Brian's journey started in July 2021. They planned to visit national parks across the western US and document their travels. Their van, a white 2012 Ford Transit, became their home on wheels. Gabby's social media was filled with stunning photos from places like Monument Rocks in Kansas, Great Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado, and Zion National Park in Utah. But as they traveled, things got rocky. Friends and family noticed a shift in Gabby's tone during phone calls and texts. She seemed more anxious, and there were hints of tension between her and Brian. The body cam footage from Moab police, taken on August 12th, showed Gabby in tears, and Brian trying to downplay the situation. It was a clear sign that things weren't as rosy as their Instagram posts suggested. After the Moab incident, Gabby and Brian continued their trip. They visited several more national parks, but Gabby's social media posts became less frequent. Her last post was on August 25th, from near Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. After that, radio silence. As the investigation unfolded, more details emerged. Witnesses reported seeing Brian hitchhiking alone in Wyoming on August 29th. He told them he had been camping for days while Gabby stayed behind at their van. It was odd, to say the least. When Brian returned to Florida on September 1st, he drove the van back home. Gabby's family was unaware of this until they reported her missing. The Laundrie family's silence and refusal to cooperate only fueled suspicion. The discovery of Gabby's body was a devastating blow. The FBI quickly identified the cause of death as strangulation. The focus shifted to finding Brian, who was now the prime suspect. Brian's disappearance added another layer of mystery. Searches of the Carlton Reserve were hampered by the challenging terrain and conditions. Days turned into weeks with no sign of him. The public's frustration grew as they demanded answers and justice for Gabby. The search finally came to a close when Brian's remains were found. It was a tragic end to a case that had gripped the nation. The authorities concluded that Brian died by suicide, leaving behind a notebook with his final thoughts. Gabby Petito's story is a haunting reminder of how quickly things can spiral out of control. It also highlights the power and pitfalls of social media, where the line between reality and perception can blur. Gabby's bright spirit and love for adventure touched many, and her legacy continues to raise awareness about the importance of speaking up and seeking help in troubled relationships.